A couple of weeks ago, I talked to you about leftover properties as a way to find a potential deal in this hot market we are still in despite rising interest rates. I mentioned one specific house in a town just north of me. Well, our clients got that property under contract, and I want to tell you all about the killer deal that they got on this overlooked property. Hi there, my name is Mindy Jensen, and I'm the host of the BiggerPockets Money Podcast. To get all the information you need to make sure you keep your personal finances in order, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. Okay, not only am I the host of the BiggerPockets Money Podcast, but I'm also a licensed real estate agent in Colorado. Joining me today is my real estate partner, Libby Earthman.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited you could join me today. Libby, why don't you give a quick recap about how we found our client this property?
Well, you found it. Let's start there.
We're a team.
We're a team. But so Mindy was just kind of using this logic and suggested it to us. And the clients, they had originally written it off as kind of not exactly in the parameters that they were looking for, but they also didn't want to get a bidding war. This house had been on the market for 35 days?
Approximately.
About 35 days. So we went over and immediately it was clear that it was a lovely house. It's 20 years old?
It's about 20 years old, and it was a lovely house.
Yeah, and we can see that it has all the potential. It'll be back there with some elbow grease, but it was also clear why at the original asking price no one had made an offer, because it just needs a ton of elbow grease.
And paint.
Yeah.
And cleaning supplies. Holy cow,
supplies.
Murphy's oil soap. Goodness,
Yeah.
they really need to clean this. They did not waste any time at all cleaning this property before they put it on the market.
No,
It's
didn't.
very dusty, very dirty. 20 years worth of dust in some spots.
But again, it's beautiful.
It will be gorgeous.
beautiful. Yeah. So we took some time thinking about whether or not they wanted to make an offer. That's a luxury we never see right now.
No.
And when we finally came down to it, it was originally at an amount that was $25,000 over what it was now listed at day 42 when we finally made the offer. We offered another $30,000 below. So it was $50,000. Does that math make sense? $55,000-ish below what they originally thought they were going to get. Mm-hmm. They didn't love that offer. And so they sat on it. They had about 24 hours to respond. And what do you know?
An hour 23.
The listing agent calls me and says, boy, we really want to accept your contract, but another one just came in at asking. So it'd be hard for us to accept yours for $30,000 less. Do you want to raise? And I said, no, we don't. Turns out
They accepted the other offer, and 18 hours later...
Yeah, the listing agent calls me back and says, oops, that offer already fell apart. So can you just submit again at $30,000 under what we thought we were going to get? I'll get my sellers to sign it right away. And I said, absolutely. So that's what we did. But 18 hours, and especially because the other contract, the extension of the timeline, it meant that we couldn't do this really quick inspection, which is how we thought we were going to, swoop in, do a quick inspection, do any inspection objection, all that kind of thing. Well, that changed our timeline quite a bit, especially because they had a huge project the next week, our clients did. So we just put a really long inspection timeline in there because we knew they were going to accept that offer.
They did accept that offer, and our inspection timeline went from 5 days to 2 weeks. And our preferred inspector actually had an opening the very next day. So once we went under contract, we scheduled our inspector. Thank you, Rick. And Rick came in with his fine-tooth comb and magnifying glass and found a lot of issues, which is common in a 20-year-old house. But this house has clearly been neglected. And this prompted us to, because we had such a long time for our inspection, we got deeper inspections. We got a roofing inspection which actually turned out to be fine. The roof is in good shape. We were able to further dive into the HVAC problems that our inspector found. And being a generalist, he couldn't give a deep dive into the HVAC problems. But he did note some issues, some rusting, and in a normal transaction, we may not have had time to get an HVAC contractor out there to give a deep inspection.
We wouldn't have.
But because we had 2 weeks, we did. And what did our HVAC guy find?
Oh, man. They found that essentially it needed to be replaced. I mean, there were a number of issues, but the biggest one was it was leaking really dangerous levels of carbon monoxide into the home because it was not fully combusting, because it was so rusted out and there were so many little issues. There's kind of a fatal blow to the whole system. But those are expensive. And we did not waive inspections. And we were able to go back to the sellers and say, look, we know you haven't had any other offers. And this is not an expense we were willing to take on. So
this isn't something we knew about. Yeah. Now, my philosophy with a home inspection is if I can see it, I should not ask for it in the home inspection to be repaired. If there's a broken window, I have eyes, I can see that. I can't see carbon monoxide because it's colorless and odorless. Mm-hmm. I can't smell it either. Maybe you can smell it.
Nope, can't.
Can't. Okay. So I'm not an HVAC expert, so I shouldn't be expected to know that this is a problem. But once I do know that it's a problem, it's a $20,000 problem. Our clients were willing to walk away from this contract if they weren't going to get this repaired or replaced by the seller. In this market where you can't ask for anything, we asked for concessions.
$20,000 worth. So yeah, we got the price reduced and we got all of our buyers' closing costs covered.
In addition to $50,000 less than their initial asking price, $55,000 less than their initial asking price, we got an additional $20,000 off for our clients because we went and saw a property that nobody else wanted. We went and had time to get an inspection. We didn't waive appraisal, which turns out to not matter because it appraised at value. And we were able to go through the real estate transaction on a normal timeline because we took our time. We looked at these properties that nobody else was looking at.
And our clients are stoked.
They're super excited. So are we. So I went into the MLS this morning. Today is a Tuesday that we're recording this. And Tuesday is typically when most of the properties are either from the past weekend are either under contract or about to go under contract. And I looked in my neighborhood, in my city, what are the houses, what are the listings that are still available today, Tuesday morning? And there were 40 under $1 million. I think $1 million in our area is a price point where days on market tend to be a little bit longer. We're still more of an under $1 million market.
Thankfully.
Yes, thankfully. Fingers crossed it stays that way. There are 40 total listings. 13 of them, I think, are going to go under contract soon. I think they just have not yet been accepted all the way around and marked in the MLS. 11 of them are new construction. So those tend to have a higher days on market just because they haven't sold yet, because they're not built. 5 of them are on or back up to busy streets. I'm not a fan of a busy street house. I think all of these houses will eventually sell, but I think that that's not where you should be looking when you're looking for a deal. Read Stephen King's Pet Sematary for a reason why you don't want to buy on a busy street. Seriously.
It's also harder to sell, as you can see, right?
Yes, because, again, read Pet Sematary. 4 of these houses are quirky. They're either super weird layouts, or they have a specific buyer, like they're 16 acres or they're on a golf course. 2 of them are grossly overpriced, and a grossly overpriced home could turn into a leftover property. But for right now, nobody's looking at them because either the seller has unrealistic expectations or the seller has unrealistic expectations. So it's almost a waste of time to write up an offer. If the house is listed $100,000 more than it would, then surrounding properties are going for, they're not going to accept your offer of $100,000 less. They truly believe they have a gem and it's just not worth pursuing at this time. But 5 of these properties are what I would consider to be leftover properties. And they've been on the market for 9 days, 13 days, 15 days, 27 days, and 36 days. And that 9-day property is the one that's really the most interesting to me because while it's only been on the market 9 days, this is the hottest market we've seen. And the seller is now thinking, what's wrong with my house? it should have been under contract instantly because everything else is under contract instantly. So why is my house not under contract? It's a nice house. It's in a nice neighborhood. It doesn't look weird or strange from the pictures. So this is something that I would want to go see with my clients, or if I was looking for a property to buy right now, it's something that I would want to go see because it doesn't look like it needs a lot of work. It doesn't look like it's going to be a big undertaking, but it is still not part of a bidding war. You can have your inspections. You may not have to waive appraisal in order to get this property. Same with the 13 and 15-day properties. The 27 and 36 days on the market properties, I would still go see as part of just, we'll see all 5 of these in one day. I would see them and really look hard at them. I have an article on BiggerPockets.com about a 48-point DIY home inspection that is not meant to be taking the place of an in-depth home inspection, but it's something to take with you before you pay for a home inspection, even before you make an offer on a property, just to make sure there's nothing glaring that your home inspector would find anyway that would make you lose the deal, would cause you to break the deal. Like make sure all the doors open and close, make sure all the windows open and close, run the dishwasher, turn on the stove, open the refrigerator and make it work. Flip all the light switches on, bring a marble and roll it around the floor and see if there's an obvious slope. Bring an outlet tester and check the outlets. That's not something that's invasive or something that you're not able to do. But there's a lot of things that you can do ahead of time when you see a house that's been on the market like this that could have an issue. I mean, you could walk into that house that's been on the market for 36 days and be instantly greeted with a wall of cat urine aroma and understand why it's been on the market for so long. Yeah. That's a harder task to overcome. But smoke is not. The house we're sitting in right now was smoked in for 40 years. And an ozone machine and a whole weekend of driving across town and moving the ozone machine around the house and a deep clean of the carpets took out 99.9% of that smell.
Yeah, I would never know this was a smoker's house.
Yeah, just over time, the 0.1% went away, and it sat on the market forever because nobody wanted to deal with the smoker's house, and it had a pool in the backyard that wasn't in great shape. And we're in an area of the world that nobody wants a pool. So
you've been living market leftovers for a while.
I've been living market leftovers for a long time. Yep. It's not a new concept, but you can still find a great deal. And while there aren't market leftovers every week, you will be able to find market leftovers. So talk to your agent about what's been sitting around. You might be able to find a good deal. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found the information helpful, please click the like button and subscribe to this channel so you're the first to know about new videos that we're producing. Libby Jensen. I can't believe I called you Libby Jensen.
Don't edit that out.
Libby Earthman and Mindy Jensen signing off.
Bye.